As many of you know, I am not big on presidential pardon powers. And at the same time, if you needed any more proof that Joe Biden was right to issue these preemptive pardons to his family, to Liz Cheney, to Anthony Fauci, to everybody, if you needed any more proof of it, it's what Donald Trump said within an hour, within 90 minutes of being sworn in as president, going after Nancy Pelosi and saying Nancy Pelosi is guilty of criminal offenses, a claim that he makes completely without evidence in his sort of confused and swollen orange way. But when you see Trump say, now that he's going to be controlling the FBI with his FBI director, Justice Department, et cetera, now that he's made clear for years, we will be targeting my political enemies for revenge, he brings up that Nancy Pelosi committed crimes. This reinforces that even if you don't like presidential pardon power, which I don't, is there any more correct time to use one by Joe Biden than when Trump is saying stuff like this?
And soldiers, she knows it. She admitted it on tape that her daughter made. She's a videographer or whatever you call her, which I'm glad she is. Oh, she can't be in good stead with Nancy. But Nancy said it was my responsibility as she's leaving the Capitol. She said it was, and it was. She's in charge of security at the Capitol. But I offered them up to 10,000 soldiers, even more. One time I said more, as many as you need. But you needed 400 or 500. If 4 or 5, you 10,000, that would be more than the number of people there by lot. But we offered her 10,000. Think of it, 10,000 soldiers. In other words, J6 wouldn't be J6. There would have been no J6.
All right, you get it. Trump coming up, concocting the story that thanks to Nancy Pelosi, who of course was not in charge of Capitol security, the January 6th riots were not prevented, but they could have been. But he's also pardoned the rioters. So he's sort of saying like, it's Nancy Pelosi's fault, criminally so, that the riots took place. But also, I kind of don't really think the rioters did anything wrong, so I'm pardoning all of them. If you're wondering, why did Joe Biden issue the preemptive pardons? This is exactly why. And Trump actually weighing in on the pardon specifically, saying, why on earth would Biden pardon these people?
But I was really going to talk about the level of, what's going on. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to help a guy like Milley? Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said, terrible what he said.
We're doing Milley.
Why are we helping some of the people? Why are we helping Liz Cheney? I mean, Liz Cheney is a disaster. She's a crying lunatic and crying Adam Kinzinger. He's a...
And of course, the reason is that Joe Biden seems to have accurately assessed that Trump is likely to go after those people. Why did Biden come to that conclusion? Because it's what Trump has been saying for years. And it's what his incoming FBI director, Kash Patel, has been saying for years. We are believing that they are going to at least try to do these things, and therefore Joe Biden is acting appropriately. Donald Trump, despite having won, he won, right? He says that if it weren't for election fraud, he would have won California. He just can't stop telling these lies.
Places like California, we did great, but when they send out like 38 million ballots, and nobody knows where the hell they're sending them, and then they come pouring back, the whole thing. They passed a law in California that if you work in an election bureau and if you so much as ask for a voter ID, if you say, sir, ma'am, could I please look at your voter ID? They have the right to put you in jail. You're a criminal. Can you believe that?
Right.
There's only one reason that happens. They want to cheat. So they had it where voter ID wasn't accepted. But now if you even ask for it, this is seriously a bill that was just signed, passed in their legislature, and it was signed. And I think when we get things cleaned up and we get back to a little bit of normalcy, I'm going to ask the speaker to really get involved, because I think we would have won the state of California, because...
He would not have. There is no chance in hell that Trump would have won California. And then Trump continuing this incoherent rant to the point at which MSNBC just pulls away. The audience is completely silent. It's the same old Trump, folks, ranting so incoherently that the crowd is motionless and TV networks start pulling away.
So I wanted to talk about that, but all of that stuff got deleted. And the reason it got deleted is they were all caught in lies. You know, Secret Service testified, and they said it didn't happen. Actually, the two guys were very embarrassed. They're suffering because their friends are saying, did Trump really do that to you? But they gained a whole new
If you're lost now, everybody's lost.
respect for me. But it was just make-believe stuff. And there were a lot of make-believe stories made up. So rather than suffer the wrath, like the story with Nancy Pelosi, I offered her 10,000 soldiers.
Donald Trump is giving unscripted remarks in Emancipation Hall after his inaugural address, sort of giving...
I love the idea that you have to clarify that these are unscripted remarks because they're going completely off the rails. I'm so sorry, my friends. It's going to be a very, very long 4 years, and we are working with everyone we can in the House and in the Senate that still has some semblance of sanity remaining to try to build a robust opposition. I'm going to have more information about that for you soon, but it is going to be a long one, that's for sure. Did you know that countless commercial databases and people search sites are storing your personal information? Anyone from an employer to a former partner can use these platforms to get details about your online presence, your home address, phone number, email, license plate, family members, financial information, even political views. Europe has laws that offer some protection, but in the US, the data is widely accessible. Even the FBI will buy this information from companies to spy on people without a search warrant. Our sponsor, Incogni, provides a solution. It takes just seconds to sign up, and Incogni will send removal requests to all of the major data brokers, legally compelling them to get rid of your data. Incogni keeps you informed throughout the process. You'll get real-time updates, who has complied, which ones are still pending. They'll handle follow-ups, they'll handle appeals on your behalf, and this will save you hundreds of hours. Very few people have the time or resources to do this on their own. This service can also reduce the number of spam calls and emails you get, since many solicitors and scammers get your information from these very same sources. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 60% off. The link is below.